What is up, MFers, and welcome out to stop number 5. We're already on 5. Wow, it's the Hump Tournament in the Elite Series schedule. This is the midway point of the season, and it brings us to South Carolina. We are here at Lake Murray, and I'm excited because if you guys watched what went down at Lake Murray last year when the Elite Series came here, it was absolutely epic. I think that people kind of got an idea because the way this place has been fishing the last few years that it was going to be a really good tournament, but I think it really surprised people even more to how good it actually was. There was crazy amounts of topwater schooling activity, topwater blow-ups, there was bed fishing, there was riprap fishing, all sorts of crazy stuff, and it was honestly pretty epic. Everyone's been talking about it ever since then. So here we are a little bit later in the season. We're a month later in the season, and I came here in pre-practice for a couple days about a month and a half ago. It was actually pretty tough, but I think it was kind of because the fish weren't quite out chasing their favorite preferred bait fish on this lake, which is what makes it very, very unique on the schedule, and that is the blueback herring. So for those that are familiar or not familiar, blueback herring are a very pelagic species of bait fish that this part of the country has a lot of lakes that are absolutely loaded with them, and they are a bait fish which likes to spawn this time of year, and they like to spawn on a lot of these clay points, big hard bottom points, main lake points, stuff like that. So naturally, we'll just go fish those, right? We'll just go catch bass on. Well, the problem is, if you look at Lake Murray on the map, it's got 794,000 points on it. That may or may not be an exaggeration. I'm not really sure, but the damn thing's overwhelming. 50-some thousand acres, body of water, and it's something that we got 3 days to go break down. And so I got a bunch of baits laid out here. I got baits on still from Texas tied up, and I just need to retie all these things. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using in practice and then into the tournament, probably to target these giant bass that chase these pelagic blueback herring around these clay hard bottom points, riprap, docks, whatever it may be. I think I got something for a little bit all of it. So to break this body of water down, obviously the points are going to be a major emphasis for me. We're not going to rule out bedfish. We're not going to rule out, you know, riprap, laydown, stuff like that for some of the bluegill eaters, for some of the fish that are just, you know, just not out there doing their thing on the blueback points, because of course the blueback herring go up and down the riprap banks, they go under overhanging trees, whatever. So we're not going to rule that out. But the most important bait traditionally, in my opinion, some people might not think this, but I think so, is a fluke style bait, a soft plastic jerk bait. And so I'm absolutely going to rig up one of the most basic shapes in all of fishing, but this is the 6th Sense version. This is called the Flush. You guys know this bait. I've thrown it forever because it is a really nice profile bait. This isn't one of these special colors, but it comes in really awesome two-tone laminate colors, but a pearl white color is going to be the deal. Now, even though this is like one of the most old school soft plastic jerkbait shapes in fishing, I do like to kind of rig it up a little bit special. So I'll just rig it up quick how I'm going to be fishing it in this tournament. Even though there's not a whole lot of grass on some of these points that we're going to be targeting these fish, we're going to rig it Texas rigged for a very specific reason. Let me show you guys why. So I'll take a Flush, and this is a 5/0 jugular hook from 6th Sense, and I probably shouldn't be sharing this. We'll share it. So you're gonna need to make sure this gets dead center when you line it up, and then we're also gonna do something to make sure this bait wants to dive a little bit, and that is we're going to, you can kind of see the seam right there where the injection process comes together, where that mold comes together. That'd be dead center right there. We're gonna go just like a 1/16 of an inch above that in the bait, and that is going to give this bait a special action. So obviously this is something that we're going to rig up more commonly when it's tied up to a line already, so then it conceals the line. It's perfectly straight in there. The nice thing about this, even though it's a little bit bigger than your Zoom Fluke, and it's a little bit smaller than the Magnum Fluke, it's a perfect in-between size. They don't see quite as much. It comes with this, it's an open cavity in the inside. So even though it is big, it can conceal that hook. It's not going to have a issue with hookup ratio. So we're gonna take about yay much of, this is 0.035 lead wire. And this is where we're gonna get a little bit funky and have some fun here. We're quite simply going to wrap lead wire around this hook. Again, we're not fishing in situations where it necessarily has to be weedless, but we are going to need this for a reason I'll show you in just a second. There we go. I don't even know what the total weight of that would be, so I'm sorry if you guys are curious about that. And then we're just going to take our point of our hook, and we are once again not going to make sure that it's exposed or anything. It does not need to be super weedless. You can even leave it so it's a little bit exposed like that. If, as you notice, that head kind of has a little bit of a nose down posture, that's going to cause it to kind of dive a little bit more. Now the reason I like the flush is it's got this ball on the tail, and just the way that the bait is tapered, when you rip that thing, not only is it going to dart and slash side to side, but the tail's gonna just kind of side to side, give that secondary kicking motion just a little bit more to make those fish commit to it. It is absolutely killer. I'll either fish it with just short twitches on the surface, or I'll rip, pause, stuff like that. And the reason that it's better to me, the reason I like it more, and I've fished it both ways a lot, I like this way a lot more on a traditional Texas rig with this O'Shaughnessy style bend hook and the lead wire down here, is because when you have an exposed top hook, like a big drop shot hook or something with a keeper on it, has a tendency to want to roll over on its side. This weight on the bottom keeps it keel weighted, so as it's darting and slashing, it'll stay upright. You can rip it through the water column, you know, just like a bait fish or a blueback herring, or even a shad, because there could definitely be a shad spawn going on. It'll be just like that. So that was a little bit windy, but that's how I love to rig my soft plastic jerk baits. That is absolutely killer. Try it on blueback herring lakes. Try it on any freaking lake, river, stream in the country. This is one of the bitiest baits that has ever been created in fishing. So try that guy out right there. This is a pernicious, it says, IPA from Wicked Weed. It's decent little guy. I like to sample the local crafts. But let's get into some of the other fun baits. Of course, oh, this is a fun one that we probably shouldn't show people, but we're going to, just like we did in our last tournament videos. In a second, catwalks. It's a 6 cents catwalk. I mean, it's a see-through bait. That's another big thing in this lake, and really these herring lakes. Everyone talks about it, you know, a natural see-through color when it's sunny, or a chrome color, and then a bone color when it's a little bit overcast. That's the word I'm looking for. That one right there, Dogma's an awesome bait. Nice loud knocker rattle in it. Plus this catwalk sits super horizontal in the water column, so even if it's windy, it's going to stay down and just do its job, get the action you need out of it. And if you guys watched the tournament last year, so many fish, especially by Hunter Schrock, were caught on riprap on a plopper style bait. So I got a new little bait with a different noise than you've ever heard before. This is a prototype bait, so it's cool to have something that almost nobody else in the tournament has. This, again, a little bit different size, a little bit different profile, as always with 6 cents baits. A little bit more natural color schemes, gill patterns, stuff like that. And this is just a nice bait that I've thrown just a little bit in my pool and my pond. The pond fish definitely really seem to like it, but that's a bait that you'll see coming to shelves before too much longer. So there's some topwater baits, a little bit more subtle. The speed wake, of course, is going to come into play. Something that I can absolutely burn as fast as I want, because that's a huge thing with these herring lakes that I know a lot of you guys that are serious tournament fishermen in this area and serious fishermen know about these herring. But it's such a unique bait fish and species style that I've hardly fished for at all. But they're extremely fast. They move super quick throughout the water column. You'll see bait balls of them just blasting across the bottom of the lake. And if you're fishing riprap, if you're fishing, you know, anywhere on the bank, you'll see them just blast right past you. And so for that reason, a lot of times these bass will not react to anything unless it is being burned. This bait right here will catch fish and work properly up on the surface, waking at all speeds, which is why it's called the speed wake, of course. Burn this thing as fast as you want. So that's going to be killer for me too. You know, I can't go anywhere without, you know, mixing in some different shapes. And the reason that I have all these different baits out and rods out is because a lot of times you have 30 rods in your deck when you're fishing like this. Got to have some little glide baits. This is one, you guys know, the smaller draw size. Very, very good when we're fishing around some of these, you know, riprap. We're fishing around some of these overhanging trees. We're fishing chunky rock, or even just over those herring points. This guy can be key. And then we'll kind of get into some a bait that I don't talk about a whole lot that I love around schooling fish, around areas where I really need to burn it. This is the speed wake, and even though it is a single jointed bait, just like this draw, so a lot of people think it's a glide bait type, it's actually a bait that you want to burn, stop and go retrieve, twitch it like a jerk bait, and it's going to have a really tight, really just awesome natural swimming action that works extremely well. Once again, it's called a speed glide. Not to be confused with the speed wake that I just showed you, but similar type bait. It sinks a little bit quicker, so you can let it sink down, work it anywhere in the water column you want, but that's another great option as well. And then of course, I think it plays in every single tournament these days. The old jerk bait. I'll have it tied on my deck, at least one of these guys every tournament this entire year. This is probably one that I'm going to start with tournament day and probably in practice as well. Not probably, definitely in practice as well. This is the 97 DD size, or 97X. I don't really know how deep I'm going to be fishing. Probably less than 8 feet of water. So I'll be mixing both of these in. Just a great, you know, natural color jerk bait. This will be a good color, whether it's cloudy, whether it's sunny. You want something natural. This is going to imitate those bluebacks really, really well. But I got a lot of stuff to tie on. We're going to be out pre-fishing the next 3 days, and hopefully have some cool footage to show you guys. But regardless, I'm excited for this tournament. Once again, it's the Hump Tournament. It's going to be a tournament that it's very unique. It's a very unique fishery, just like how going to Texas in February and March was really unique, just like how going to Florida in April and mixing things up this year was unique. This lake is no different. It's a wild card event, just like the rest of the tournament schedule. And so when I saw it on the schedule, was very, very excited because the big bags they put up last year. Was very nervous though, because it is a big lake that fishes really big, a type of lake that I've never fished before in my life that a lot of these other guys have experience on. So we got our work cut out for us, guys. All we can do now is just go find some. Let's do it. Good morning, MFers. Welcome out to day 3, morning 3, the last final day of practice for the Elite Series here at Murray. The reason I'm just showing you footage right now is because the first 2 days of practice has been really, really tough. Not good. I've caught fish. I caught a big limit of fish in like an hour in the afternoon the first day, but the camera situation was not good. The GoPro was not on. So that was lovely, but we have one more day to go break this thing down. The point bite for the herring spawn stuff that everyone caught them on last year, a lot of guys did, has been super tough. Those fish are really fussy, and there just hasn't been fish blasting topwater and blasting bait like they did last year, like you'd think that they would. That is how I got my big bag, and I also caught some on riprap too, but so far has not been easy. So we got to go out and find a way to find some consistent bites. I did see some fry garters on stumps, deeper stumps, and I saw some bedfish yesterday too. So we're gonna spend a lot of time today looking for more of that stuff and looking for something new. I think I'm gonna start this morning trying to fish some riprap not too far from the ramp here. Something to start on in the morning unless we see, you know, more surface activity, and then I'm gonna start running some points and see if we can find some aggressive fish this morning. But so far it's been tough. That's okay. No one wins practice, and we need to find something for tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's go. Bit of blue shimmer to it. I was throwing it that first morning. Couldn't get a bite. Switched over to straight white, and it was instant. Dinner. Nice. Give me your mouth. It's so meat. Oh, the old Murray Lake special. It'll eat good. Probably never catch a bass again the rest of my life. At this rate.
do something.
Screws for sure.
Up a half. Look, there's 800 more with them. Look at all those. I got the smallest one. So mad. Yeah, I lied. There's some small fish in this lake. About the smallest keeper I've caught this trip. Fatty. 2.5. It's getting to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna be happy with catching a limit, but I just wish I could do something consistent to catch a limit. This is like super feast or famine and depends a lot on if you can get on the right point at the right time. Because you could legitimately get on a good rotation and catch 27, 28 pounds, or you could get on a bad rotation and not catch a keeper the entire day. It's that volatile. It's crazy. You can either stay, like we've been here, how long have we been on this point? Probably 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
You can either stay on a point, see how the fish are set up, make sure there's fish, of course, make sure there's bait, and then maybe get a bite, catch one, and then kind of settle in and wait them out until they kind of group back up and they're ready to bite again. Or you just run. You catch one, go. Don't catch one for 5 points. Keep running and gunning. Like, you gotta decide what you want to do, but I think that's a lot easier to do in practice when people aren't parked on it. I think it's gonna be a lot tougher to do in a tournament. Let it rest. One vote for the not big ones right here too. Let's go. Well, you guys saw right there how fast it can happen. Those weren't giant ones, but I saw giant ones follow them in. But that's the same stuff we've been fishing all morning, the same type of stuff that they've been on. It's just the shallow clay points. I mean, wind blown definitely seems to help, but something about it, they just decided at 9:14 in the morning they were gonna pull up and start eating. And saw them schooling, threw in there a few times, nothing. Repositioned the boat so I could make a longer cast to them, and boom, caught two back to back. So it's all about timing. There's so much timing involved, and that was a place that I haven't hit yet. So I'm gonna keep kind of looking for new points, then I'm gonna start to really try to mix in some of these sneakier points, because man, this place is gonna fish small, I got a feeling. But gonna look for more of these clay points, and then also try to find stumps out offshore, because I saw some fry garters on some of the stumps yesterday, and 3-pounders, 2.5-pounders might go a long way, so we can get a couple of those 5-pounders to eat every day. I think we need to get up the lake, find some sneakier shits. I thought there'd be more stumps on these islands down here, because that's where I was finding them yesterday. I kind of got on that deal at the end of the day, but there haven't been fucking any. Eating a cicade. Those things are about the only thing I've seen eat it. I've only seen one bass eat one, and it was one that was flying. It was like 6 inches over the top of the water, and I saw this fucking wake blasting around. That's where I said was that best spot in the lake. And it got like 3 inches above the surface, and it jumped out of the water and ate it. Oh, here comes your bud. Come on out, Mr. Gar. Ah, come back, bud. Just kidding, let's go. Let's go. Water's hot back here. Let's go back out to the mouse. Go right back to it. What's up, guy? bunch of them there. All right, let's roll. Oh, come eat. Dude, I am guard out. Let's call it. Thought they were glowing out there. It's just a bird. Leave it to Stetson. It's all his. What kind of cricket that was. I think I drank more pounds of water than pounds of fish I caught, minus the striper. That's it.
Quit
I
it.
think it's bite on.
Really?
Yeah.
Fooled you.
This one's nice better. So about $1 million.
I'm trying to. It's like a horse and a carrot. It's like the people up in the mountains. They're like, "You going bar hunting?" And I'm like, "Bar hopping? No, bar hunting." That's how they say bear.
Bar.
Oh, hey, be honest. Are you gonna be? Say what?
Put her on one of those poles, strap her in with it up or down, she'll stay on there.
You're not using your power poles?
I mean, just for docking and bed fishing, whatever. Just strap her to one of them so when it opens up, she'll just be on it in the water. She'll just be swimming. Hazel.
Dude, that is creepy.
Where'd you get that Austin? We gotta give a backstory.
All right, so me and my good buddy Cole Harkin, Sixth Sense Angler, we were fishing a tournament at Fontana Lake. And at Fontana Lake, there's a lot of trash in the lake. And needless to say, I found Headless Hazel floating in one of my favorite trash piles. And she brought us luck, even though she looks like she's a voodoo doll. Perfect.
So, why is she strapped on my pump?
Oh, because she brings luck. Naturally, you think a headless doll wouldn't bring luck? Here, should she be doing the field goal pose like this? or should she be doing the sprinkler like that?
Step to the side.
If I have a good limit, she'll be doing the it's good.
Or like a soldier, just straight.
Probably.
So I was headed down the main lake,
Struggling.
and then I'm like,
Or something.
we pulled into a magic trash pile and she was floating, and I literally picked her up and I held her and I felt the spirit of the lake enter my body. My next cast, 5-pounder.
So I don't know if I want her, but I want some of whatever you were on.
The spirit of the lake.
Yeah. I'm done, bud.
Done.